Hello my friend, welcome to another retro FIFA tactics video. I'm super excited for this one. We recently covered Pep Guardiola's Barcelona tactics in FIFA 11 and this time around we're going to another one that's really close to my heart. We are looking at Jose Mourinho's treble winning tactics in FIFA 10. This is something that I would implore all of you to do. Go back to one of the older FIFAs and try out some of these classic systems in the FIFA of that year. So with that being said, roll the intro and let's get cracking. So welcome in, my name is Ash and as I've spoken about we are doing the Inter Milan 2009 to 2010 tactics. In particular I'm looking at that Champions League final against Bayern Munich and I've decided to try and replicate that in FIFA 10. You've got a far more in-depth tactical system in FIFA 10 than what you get in the later games and in FC 24, so as a result I think this is one that you're really going to enjoy. So starting off with the formation then, although it's labelled as a 4-3-3 in this game, it is a 4-2-3-1. As you can see, you've got the four defenders, both a right and left defensive midfielder. Samuel Eto'o is out at right wing, Pandev is out at left wing, Schneider at cam, and then of course Diego Milito as a striker. With regards to the positioning and each individual player instruction, for those of you who will have seen already, you actually have a very in-depth set of instructions for each player, because not only can you adjust their position, you can actually adjust their player work rate and their positioning as well. So starting off with the work rates, in this case for Maicon, we've got him as a high attacking work rate, and then the two centre-backs, Lucio and Walter Samuel, both of these are on a high defensive work rate, but then a low attacking work rate. Christian Kivu, of course, naturally a centre-back, but could play left-back as well. Sometimes Zanetti would play here, but for the course of this final, it was Kivu playing a left-back. He had a high defensive work rate and just medium attacking. He was there as an extra defender and there for those bodies in the set-piece situations. With Cambiasso and Zanetti at defensive midfield, in Cambiasso's case, they both had high defensive work rate, but Cambiasso had a medium attacking work rate and someone who would push forward a little bit more compared to Zanetti, who would have a lower attacking work rate. As spoken about, he was generally a left back or a centre back, but he could also play in defensive midfield, and for this game, he was pushed into the defensive midfield role. Both Samuel Eto'o and Goran Pandev on either wing had a high attacking work rate, and that was very important because he has to have his wingers tracking back at all times, tracking the runs of those overlapping fullbacks and ensuring that the fullbacks don't get doubled up on their side. Wesley Schneider was the one within this system who was given a little bit of leniency as it pertains to his work rate, and so he has medium attacking work rate. He wasn't someone who would constantly be moving around into space. Sometimes he'd really drift around pockets, and then defensively as well, it's just a medium defensive work rate. Diego Milito, high attacking work rate and a defensive medium work rate. So what about the player positioning then? Well, there are just two things that you are going to want to look at. The first thing is that with both the wingers, you actually want them angling their runs in the attacking phase, and this is to get them closer to the striker. You've got to remember that both Eto'o and Pandev were naturally strikers, but they played out wide not only as their goal threat, but because they had that high work rate and they could be trusted to track back, as we spoke about, and help out their fullbacks. So with that being said, with the defensive positioning, you actually want them both on a downwards arrow, so it means that they are going to really track back and get deep when they need to. Let's talk about the custom tactics then, shall we? First things first, with the build-up play, naturally you've got those quick transitions, those dangerous counter-attacks that Mourinho systems are well known for. So that's on 90, giving you fast in the build-up play. The passing is on 40 and it's giving you mixed, because they're not always looking to just constantly go direct and go behind. Sometimes they are going to build up through the thirds, and Mourinho teams do that, contrary to popular opinion. His positioning is organised. It's very important that players aren't drifting around and going from side to side. He wants them to remain generally within their unit and within their zonal area. Chance creation in terms of the passing, again, more balanced. You've got a mixture and a hybrid of both long passing and also short passing. Crossing is on 17, meaning you're going to get a lot of balls into the box, and what this is going to do is in the gameplay, it's going to get players getting into the box as much as possible to create those crossing situations. Shooting is on 13, meaning you're on little. A lot of times they are trying to work the ball out wide and work more intricate passing and shooting situations, as opposed to getting the ball into shooting positions and constantly taking pop shots. Not to say that they wouldn't do it, but it just wouldn't be as regular occurring. Positioning once again is unorganised, and then from a defensive point of view, the pressure is on 40, making it medium, making sure that you aren't going to look to press them high at the pitch. Instead, you're only going to engage them when they really enter kind of the middle third. Same with the aggression as well. This is on 18, because it's the lowest you can have whilst it's on contain. Naturally, he didn't want guys getting exploited in behind, and so as a result he would take that kind of safety first approach. Team width is on 10. As we know with a Mourinho system, they're going to be very compact, very narrow. They're going to force the opposition to play around them rather than through them, and the defensive line is on cover as opposed to offside trap, as they will look to play again that safety first approach. One thing we also need to talk about is the man marking. This is only an option that you're going to get in the actual pre-game build-up when you have the tactical screen before the game. You can then assign your players to man mark, and this is obviously a huge part of the Mourinho system. It's important that both the wingers are being man marked by the fullbacks. In addition to that, you also want to make sure that the more advanced central midfielders, in this case it was Timashuk and Van Bommel, both of them getting marked by the defensive midfielders on top of that. So there's a lot that goes into this system, but it is a really fun one to play, and as I've spoken about already, it is super fun to go back to these retro FIFAs, these old editions, the classic tactics, and replicate them, because it is just super fun. And I really would implore all of you guys to go and get it done. If you haven't done so already, check out my Patreon. The link is down below. You can get access to lots of fantastic perks and rewards on there, exclusive tactics videos, behind the scenes videos, scouting reports of real players, Discord server access, and a whole lot more. Those guys on Patreon are keeping the channel alive, and it is the best way to support the channel. So do go and check that out. As I say, the links are down below. And with that being said, we're going to round it off there. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, I will see you soon.